All right, so this is a little bit more interesting of a regular tutorial. I'm going to show you a more powerful feature of the tape measure tool, which will allow you to scale entire objects to a discernible scale. I'm sure that you've printed something before and it didn't print at the size you thought it would print at. It seemed really small or really big. And sometimes you import pictures into SketchUp in order to make a three-dimensional object out of that picture. And you can take a picture and then scale one small piece of that picture to the right size, and you know that the rest is scaled correctly. For instance, we do this with ground plans a lot. So on Blackboard, where I've put all your other things, I've also put a JPEG of Blythe Spirit 1, and that's the ground plan that I provided as a PDF. But I should mention that SketchUp doesn't import PDFs. So when you go to File, Import, you only have these choices. You can import a PSD from Photoshop, but you can't import a PDF. I'm not really sure why, but you can import a JPEG. So I've made you a JPEG of the ground plan, and it's called Blythe Spirit 1. So go ahead and open it. And now the reason that we would have to make sure to scale something correctly is once I click once, I can then decide the size of my picture. Now it's constrained. If you notice, I can't make it super tall and skinny, but it is a weird size and it's very hard to do. So I'm just gonna click out somewhere else. And now if you notice, this is not the right size for a person here, right? A chair is not the size of her foot. So we are gonna have to change the scale of this item. We can do that with the tape measure tool. Now there are a lot of items on this drafting, but if you zoom in, you can see that this says 20 feet from that point to that point, so we could use that. We could use something we know of, like we know that this is 4 feet. We know that this is 4 feet because we built this bookcase and we've built this staircase. We know that this is 5'8" because we've built this fireplace. And so what you do is you just come in and pretend like you're clicking on an item to measure it. So click on one corner and click on the other corner. Now, if you notice, it's telling me in the corner that this is 2 foot 9 and 9/16 of an inch, and that's way too small. I actually need it to be 5 foot 8 inches. So I'm going to type 5 foot 8 inches, and I'm going to hit enter. And then SketchUp is going to give me this box, and it says, do you want to resize the model? Note that components within this model that were loaded from external files will not be resized. Hint, that means the person. So what it's saying is that if you are loading a model from the internet, it's not going to be resized. Only what you have in here is going to be resized. So you click yes, and now this is the correct size. Now if we go up and measure it, we can see that this, if we click and click, is 4 feet. This back here that's measuring 20 feet is 20 feet. And now we have a really good footprint for our set. So now if we go ahead and open, we're gonna have to save this. File, save as, ground plan. I can file open the fireplace. And I'm going to select it all, Control copy, go File, Open, Ground Plan, and hit Control V for paste. I've got myself a fireplace. So I'm going to set it over here. I'm going to grab the corner here, set it down on the floor in the right spot, and then I'm going to grab the rotate tool, and I'm going to make sure that I'm rotating in the direction that I want. I'm going to click the corner, I'm going to click the other corner, and I'm going to swing it until that is in the right spot. Right there on the wall where it's supposed to be. And so that component, all those components that we already built for this show are right there. So we can do the same thing with the staircase. File, open, stairs, save changes? Yes, I do want to save those changes. Maybe later. I'm going to grab the select tool, select all of it, and hit Control C for copy. File, open, ground plan, open. Control V to paste. And I'm going to set it right on top of that drafting that I've already done. I'm going to do the same thing with the bookcase, except that it doesn't look like I saved the bookcase in there. Oh, hey! File, open. Hey, look, the bookcase is there. I certainly didn't just pause this video and go make it or anything. So I'm going to go ahead and open the bookcase. Go to Selection Tool, select it, copy, File, open, ground plan, open, paste. Now again, this one is a little bit difficult because these walls are not actually square. So unlike the staircase that just kind of plops in, this one you have to rotate like you did the fireplace. So I'm going to do the same thing, or I'm actually going to click this one picture and I can't make it a component because it's not an object. So if I triple click on this, it's not going to connect everything. If this picture down here were a physical SketchUp object, if it were a flat thing, then I would have to, when I triple clicked, it would select everything. But since it's not, SketchUp doesn't acknowledge it as a thing, I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to hold Shift and click all of these shelves and the bookcase in the back that are different components. Now, I'm going to make that a group. And I really should have done that in the bookshelf save file, but just a little bit more clicking here instead of a selection window there. So I'm going to make that a component instead of a group. And so that anything I do to one, I do to the other. I'm going to copy paste that, or I could have moved it and stuff with the stuff. I could have moved it and hit the control key. I'm going to grab that anchor point, grab this point, and swing it into place. I want to make sure that those corners touch so that it looks like a finished item rather than a single thing. So I can also go and grab the French doors. I can go and grab a piano. I can go and grab the archway. I can grab anything else that I need and assemble them all together in this final object.